Right, here we have the Idios S7 Slim tablet, and it's made by Huawei, and it's been about a year since we saw it at Mobile World Congress and we first got our hands on the device then. Inside of this is a 1 GHz CPU. It's running Android 2.2.2, which I'll try and show you in the settings screen here, if we get that up and down here, settings. Most of the time the screen operates in this landscape mode here. There's a few screens where you can turn it around to portrait, and of course the screen will rotate around with you. Here we can see the status, uptime set. Here we go, Android 2.2.2. This recently went on sale at Clove for about £145. It's quite cheap now. It's got a capacitive screen, which is 800 by 480, 7-inch model, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, HDMI out, 3.5mm audio jack, a 3250 milliamp battery, and that 1 GHz CPU, as I said. Now we'll try and just show you around the handset. Here on the left hand side, as you look at it, is the connection block at the bottom there, and the micro SD card slot, which I'll try and get a close up on here. Of course you can put your micro SD in there and you can save pictures to it. We've got the 3 keys on the top here. As you can see, they're always in this always this way around. They don't rotate with the handset. You've got back, you've got menu, and you've got home there, which do the necessary bits. On the screen itself, we don't have a slide down information bar. You actually have to press this I button and it shows you all the things that are going on, the tasks. And you do need, by the way, to install app2sd or something similar, because the onboard storage isn't perhaps what it could be or should be, so you have to put most of, if not all of your programs onto the SD card in order for them to work properly and install even. Some of them don't even download, like Angry Birds, because there's not enough storage space once you've installed a few other applications on top. The volume rocker key here is quite hard to find actually when you actually seem to need it, and it's on the right hand side here, volume down, volume up. This is the right hand speaker and the 3.5mm audio port there. We have on this side not a fat lot apart from the power button, which you will be pressing quite often. Obviously I'll try and get a bit more light on the subject here. The power button there on the top, and the actual power connector here, not 3.5mm audio port, but the power connector there. You can also charge it obviously off the USB, micro USB slot here, and we've got the HDMI port there, so you can see the left hand speaker as well there. So there's a couple of different ways of charging it. On the back is a camera. You can see the band there, the Huawei band, which actually shows the logo. I believe the camera is a 3.2 megapixel camera on there, but it is quite difficult, I must say, in normal use to just power it on. The power button's up here as you use it on the top right. There you can see the light sensors, etc., on the top left. The screen itself is okay, although it does feel, when you're typing especially, a little bit disjointed in sometimes. So you can see some of the applications I've put in here. If I go into my Gmail and I start writing a mail out, you can see that the keyboard does feel a little stretched sometimes. If I reply to this here, that keyboard is stretched quite obviously across the screen, and it could do with being a little higher up the screen, maybe just so it wasn't quite so thin. You can also type this way around and have it in the portrait style, which is equally as easy to do. But the S7 Slim is quite a nice phone. I found device rather, the tablet. I found that the screen isn't perhaps as good as it could be. It does tend to blur a little under high refresh. I mean, it's not slow by any stretch of the imagination. It's just the orientation of this screen can make some of the text seem a little bit strange, but you know, for a budget tablet, it's not too bad at all. And I've also found that when you're typing on the screen, sometimes it doesn't quite seem as responsive as perhaps my smartphones are usually. But we've got Wi-Fi on here. If we just browse to a site, okay, let's just get that a little bit closer. It loads the site very quickly and very easily indeed. And you've got the sort of stretch, you can do that. And you've got the default zoom, you can have this zoom in either close or far away as default. And there we go, we can zoom into stories like that one there. It'll load up. So it's not slow by any stretch of the imagination. My son has already put on Angry Birds, so you can play that. Again, there's no real, it is quite a nippy tablet with that 1 GHz onboard CPU. It reacts quite quickly to stuff, there's no real lag. We've tried Angry Birds, we've tried Cut the Rope, other applications like that, very graphic intensive, CPU intensive apps. They work quite well, and it really does come alive on this slightly bigger screen. It's a joy to play, but as you can see, it's I sometimes have to press things a couple of times. I'm not quite sure. It's a good capacitive screen, but sometimes the responsiveness leaves a lot to be desired. I'm not totally sure why. But this really is an overview of the Idios, strange name that, S7 Slim tablet from Huawei.